pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's that?
The minutes of the regular city commission meeting held February 6, 2023. Motion by Commissioner,
Mayor, we didn't get those completed here, so we just ask that you table them. We'll have two for the next commission meeting.
table.
Yeah, just
Okay. All right. Awards and proclamations, that's nothing this evening. We have a public hearing, 5:30 PM. Nothing for that. We have 5:30 PM bid opening for the city project 230301, Stromquist Storm Sewer Improvements. So at this time,
Yep, we have three bids to open here. First bid,
Small envelope first.
small envelope. Thanks for reminding.
Verify the contractor's license and the bid bond. The attorney can verify.
First one is DL Barkey Construction Inc.
say that again.
DL Barkey Construction Inc.
I'll slide down, pretend like we're friends.
Thank you. Contractor's license there. They are bonded. So, bid from DL Barking Construction Inc. Two options. Subtotal pays. Option one, $369,142. Option two, $334,366. I confirm that I relayed that correctly. Prepared to read off the next one. You ready? Next one is from Kemper Construction. Contractor's license isn't closed.
I'm not the organizational person. Should have brought Andrea.
And there is a bid bond included. Those two together. Option one, $751,026. Option two, $681,826.
$751,026. What was the name of that company again?
Kemper.
Kemper. Let me make sure I heard it correctly.
For the next one? For the next bid, Wagner Construction Inc., DBA Wagner Place. Contractor's license is included. And a bid bond is included.
We gotta get you a letter opener.
I have one. I think it's underneath my binder, but I don't know what for. So that's Wagner. This is Wagner. Wagner there.
Now you guys know why I have Andrea.
And for the bid, option one, $546,941. Option two, $526,015. I'll read that one again. Option two, $526,015. Those are the three bids. I'll turn over to Mayor
Okay.
and Mike.
I'll make motion to pass them on to engineering to review and make a recommendation.
Motion by Commissioner Robbins to pass them to engineer. Second by Commissioner Hamry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Plan will be to have a recommendation for the commission at the next meeting.
Visitors and delegations. We have Brandon Padilla for the Rodeo Association. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, thank you, guys. I guess we're here for a couple of reasons today, trying to give you guys an update of how the rodeo went for us last year. It pretty much exceeded our expectations. As of at the end of the rodeo, all bills were paid in full, and we still have money left in the bank at the end of it, so that's good. We had a nearly sold out crowd each day. About 90% capacity of the Burdick, which is 1,800 people a day. And we know we had spectators from as far as Wisconsin come. They reached out to us on their own asking for tickets earlier in the year. So, and they enjoyed it as their first trip to North Dakota and their first trip to a rodeo. So that's always good. We were definitely by far the largest amateur rodeo in the state. So that's a big thing for us looking forward into year number 2, I guess. And then as of today, we are officially a nonprofit organization. So
501(c)(3)
C4.
C4.
Yep. So some big things happened in the first year, and it was all good. And I guess the other reason that we're here is to see if we could get the city to stand behind us again with some support this year. And we would like to ask the city if they'd be willing to contribute $15,000 to the rodeo this year. Just the price of everything's going up. Nothing's going down. And with your guys' contribution last year, that really helped us solidify a lot of sponsors when they seen the city that the city was standing behind us. That kind of opened up businesses to saying they better get behind it too.
Was it 10,000 last year?
Yep.
I couldn't remember.
Yep.
You have quite a few businesses this year that are doubling or exceeding what they were putting in.
Double or exceeding, yeah. We've been to all of our sponsors already that we had last year. And I'd say a lot of them are going to at least double their sponsorship this year. We've had a few that have 4 times and 5 times their sponsorship from last year because they saw what it did.
Is Abrahamson doing it again this year?
Yeah.
Are they doing any more for it or just?
As far as any more for it, basically, it's hard for them to do any more for us unless we ask them to. There's not, I wouldn't say a whole lot more they can do. We're doing more for it this year. We're getting a replay board from Fort Totten Little Theater to put inside the building. So that way we can, that'll help bring our entertainment level up and kind of put it up there among the ranks of the professionals, I guess. And also another thing this year is we will be televised on Beck TV. So that'll be huge. That'll be statewide broadcasting there.
That won't hurt ticket sales.
I don't think it will. And the way the Beck TV deal works out is they pay us to come. So basically that's to help offset whatever ticket sales they will take from us.
Mhm.
But I don't think I don't think it's gonna be a big factor. There's something to be said for being there and feeling the beat of the hooves and the smelling the dirt and all the other smells that come with rodeo.
Beck TV gives it the option where they can go back and watch it
Yeah,
at a later
and
date.
we don't know, as of right now, we don't know if it's gonna be a live broadcast or if it's gonna be aired like a week later. We're still working out some of the details as far as that goes. And I guess if there's any more questions from you guys,
Well, I saw personally last year the impact it had, you know, people wise coming in when I went to the rodeo there. And so I make a motion to provide the 15,000 this year.
I was thinking with the way everybody else is doubling, we were 10 last year.
Maybe one thing I would just say as far as the contribution, I believe when did you come last year about? Was it in the fall?
nope, we came in, it would have been the middle of March, April.
Okay, right around budget time season. So maybe if we want to do increase the contribution, the budget cycle would be a good place to have that as for the 15,000 he's asking for.
Don't
I think
have
we
that
can do that.
Quality of life fund that we take money out of.
Yeah, we could do that if you'd like.
That's where you took it last year, wasn't it?
Okay, well, we gotta go for a second first. We got a motion.
I'll make the
Second,
motion.
okay, got a second by Commissioner Robbins.
Yeah, I think Terry had it, was it advertising or something? Doesn't that sound?
There's a city commission promotion line item as well.
That might have been right.
We'll find a spot to take it out of, but it's there.
So we reasonably can expect, yeah. Okay.
But just as far as we can make that, plan for the future as well, if that's something you guys want to do this next budget cycle. So
That's, okay. Okay, so do we want to move on it?
That's all the discussion I have, I guess.
Any other discussion?
Just I'd like to see it doubled.
We have a motion for 15,000 right now, so in second. Any further discussion? None. Let's, all in favor, roll call, please. It's financial.
Commissioner Hash?
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins?
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce?
Aye.
Commissioner Hamry?
Aye.
President Moe?
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you guys very
Well,
much.
thank you for
Appreciate
the update and the hard work. I know
Thank
it
you.
is. It's only going to get harder as you improve it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't bring up the 20 is we've been handing out so much money
Well,
that, it's, I saw.
we appreciate everything the city's done for us. It's definitely helped and boosted us, so.
Did
thank
we
you
do
guys.
any in-kind service for you last year? Like help in any way with equipment or anything like that?
No, I don't. The only thing if there was something like that, would maybe be to park a roll-off at the Burdick for those guys for garbage.
Those things add up too, that, if you don't have that expense,
Yeah.
that kind of helps out too. So,
And we can look into some things, come back and present to the commission if there's anything that we see that we might need.
if it's not always financial, but if some of those things
Yeah.
would save some money.
Oh, absolutely. So, all right, thank you.
Thanks, you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the visitors delegation, we have the Devils Lake Regional Airport. We have Dennis Olson as the chair and Scott Cruz is the manager. And who is coming to the podium?
We are.
Oh, it's a we thing, okay. Gonna give us an update on the happenings at the airport.
So, in conversation with the administrator, he thought it would be a good time to come in and update the commission on what's going on at the airport. One of the biggest topics we got going on right now is our EAS service. That's set to expire on June 30th of this year. And the DOT put out proposals, the deadline is today for comments and whatnot, and I think it was January 19th, something like that.
January 19th.
Where the proposals were due. We got two proposals, one from SkyWest Charter, not SkyWest Airlines. They're starting a subsidiary of themselves, I'll say. And they want to fly under different rules, and which basically the bottom line, it boils down to They'll be able to fly under the old rules where they have a 500-hour first officer and a 1,500-hour captain. And it will also, that enables them to train pilots that are coming in and get them up to the 1,500-hour to where they can graduate and fill the pipeline for the current pilot shortage that's going on nationwide. And the other one was from Northwest or Northern Pacific Airways. And I should go back. SkyWest is proposing coming in with the CRJ 200 with a limited 30 seats. If they get this new charter service going, they'll have to take 20 seats out of their aircraft. You can only have a maximum of 30 under a charter. And which will provide more leg room, by the way, for everybody.
They will space it out like it's first class.
Yeah. And then the other company is proposing a 37-seat de Havilland Dash 8 aircraft, turboprop, versus the jet aircraft of the SkyWest charter. So of course we're on board. We want SkyWest to stay serving Devils Lake, although it would be not SkyWest Airlines, it would be SkyWest Charter. Basically, it's going to be the same rules. They're going to provide the same amount of safety and a very good airline to work with. That's our biggest deal going on right now.
I think the other thing we should mention is SkyWest Charter is bidding Denver as their normal hub, but they're also looking at Minneapolis as a hub. They've already worked out arrangements with Delta, which is Minneapolis. And of course, they have an ongoing partnership with United in Denver. So they would be looking at giving us the option of so many flights to Minneapolis every week, plus so many flights to Denver. Now we're working on how that's going to work for us. But the other part of it is Northern Pacific is only offering flights from Devils Lake to Minneapolis. And the other thing you have to realize is both airlines are going to be servicing just Devils Lake. We will no longer be in a loop with Jamestown. So it'd be direct flight from Devils Lake to Denver, direct flight from Devils Lake to Minneapolis, no going through Jamestown. And Jamestown, they will have their own service depending on what airline they pick and how the federal DOT selects.
Either way, our days are numbered for piggybacking with Jamestown.
Right.
No matter which airline happens to get the bid or whatever the contract. So that's a plus, I think. We're going to have direct flights. Our biggest woe is that we don't want to lose our Denver hub. And we would love to gain the Minneapolis hub. You know, we'd be able to add to that and offer, you know, everybody travels in different directions. So to be able to offer both would be great.
We think this is one way to grow Devils Lake's numbers. So we'd make the next step up on our entitlements. Once we hit 8,000, we would move from $150,000 a year in unvouchered entitlements to $650,000. Once we hit that 10,000 threshold, we'd get $1 million a year. So, I mean, it'd be huge for Devils Lake and Devils Lake's airport.
That's why we really encourage people to fly out of here because we need the numbers.
Yep.
Any questions on that?
How many average passengers do you have now with that 30 seat? Take any?
We'll be all right.
Okay.
We'll be all right. Right now, we're running about close to 7,000 a year.
6,881. We finally got back to where we were in 2018 before COVID kicked in. So we keep growing.
So
I just wanted to make
we're
sure.
going to be okay to have 30 seats twice a day. I think we'll be all right for a while.
Okay.
And we have the option of down the line, once SkyWest LLC gets their charter, they can increase flights if the passenger demand needs it. Yep. They have a huge amount of planes. They have a shortage of passengers. That's why they're willing to take 20 seats out of these 50 passenger jets, make it feel like you're flying first class to Denver and Minneapolis. So that's what we're hoping for that.
Awesome. Yeah. And by the way, the letter, Mayor, was amazing. Good. Can't wait for him to read it. Anything else on that? Okay.
Do you want to hear anything on our terminal?
When do you expect to hear for what the service of the report?
Probably won't know until June.
June?
No, it'll be before that.
They'll award it before that, but our current EAS service is contracted through the 30th of June.
Okay.
And even though they filed to get out of their contract, in conversation with SkyWest, there's been enough other airports that have found other carriers and moved on that it's alleviated a lot of their pilot shortage problems. And they've actually started piggybacking other routes with other communities to further alleviate some of their problems. And now we're only, instead of getting our early morning flight and having a crew stay here overnight, they've pulled those people and we just have round trips every day. So they no longer have a crew sitting here in a motel waiting.
There's
They're
no plane
out
on our
plane.
runway at night.
We don't like our flight schedule right now. It's not conducive to people getting
Growing
out
up.
of here in the morning and catching the morning
Right.
flights out of Denver. But again, we're working on that. That's all part of the problem or part of the
Yeah.
program to get us.
They know that they're trying to do what they can for us at this point because of the pilot shortage. Going forward, I think the times on our flights will change again.
It'll be more conducive to the
More conducive
military.
to being able to make your
and-
connections.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll get them out of here in the morning and that way they're able to make their connections in Denver or Minneapolis or whatever. So all coming down the road right now is a tough time for everybody. And we're no different. We're just real happy they're still coming here right now. Real happy because they could have left. And so that's kind of where we are there. Anybody else got
Any questions?
question? Next thing I think we're going to touch on is our terminal expansion. We did bidding on that in when?
December. Started in December, finished in January.
Sticker shock hit us. But anyway, we're going to move forward with our terminal expansion. They've already been in and started building some of the temporary walls and whatnot out there. This is all got to be done by, I'm going to say April of 24. We have to get everything all wrapped up so that we can get it all packaged and get it in. If we haven't spent the money by June of 24, we're losing that CARES grant.
Yeah.
So
Come 1st of July, the money stops. So if whatever we've gotten to that point, we will get, as long as we get our paperwork in timely. And after the 1st of July, it's gone.
it's been a mad rush to design, bid, all this stuff going on.
The difficulty of it was when we first got this, we were one of 37 airports that qualified for this grant. Basically, it's CARES money. It was just about 17 million. And what happened was because we were one of those 37 airports that didn't quite fit the formula that the government had set up, it took them 14 months to decide if we could spend that money or not.
Yes.
Well, when they finally gave us the okay to go ahead and spend that money, they said, you're not spending it fast enough. That's a true story.
That's the federal government.
They've already threatened if we're not proceeding fast enough that they're going to withdraw.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a pressure thing. So our contractors are all local. We have Gleason Construction of Dells Lake as a general. We have Clemens Roods as mechanical, and we have Bergstrom Electric as electrical. The total for the terminal expansion, which almost doubles our square footage from about 5,800 to 12,000. So we're the actual terminal expansion cost, including the passenger boarding bridge, which is really important, I believe, for Devils Lake because of the weathers we have, and especially in the winter. You'll be able to go from the terminal to the plane. If you're dressed in a light shirt or whatever in the terminal, you'll be able to walk onto the plane in the middle of the winter when it's 20 below.
Without a snowflake.
Without a snowflake. And that is the estimate on that. Actually, the bid on that total was $13,408,730, which basically is about almost half again what the engineer's estimate was a year ago. And we think a lot of that is due to the inflation because there was so much CARES money out there. Everybody, all the big contractors were bidding it high. Everybody came in and took care of that. We had a hard time getting more than one bidder. So we had to postpone bids on some of the stuff for a couple months, but we did get 2 bids. And the secondary bid on this was $3 million higher than the first. So the inflation has really kicked in. So what happened with us is we were looking at 5 projects in total. We were looking at a new terminal expansion, an SRE ARF building, taxiway apron project, parking lot project, a broom, and a loader. And right now we're at the point where we've got enough money to do the terminal and maybe part of our apron taxiway project. It's just inflation's gobbled up our money. So that's basically where we're sitting there. And like Scott said, they've already started putting up partition walls. They're starting construction now because they have such a short timeline. That's basically where that is.
So hopefully by April of 24, we will have a new 12,000-foot terminal at the airport.
State of the art.
Going to be a great addition for the
Yes.
airport, and it's built for the future. We've heard some comments about that's a little excessive, whatever. We're not building it for today, guys. We're building it for the future.
We're hoping this will work 20 years down the road.
It will be there.
Yeah, I think we've done our homework. Our apron is capable of handling planes up to an Embraer 175, which is a 75 passenger. The CRJ 700, which is a 70 passenger, and of course the ones we're using now, the 200, which is a 50 passenger, probably will be a 30 for some time.
It will actually.
And it will take a 900. Okay. So I mean, we're planning for the future. Our security area will hold 65 people at this point. We're complying with all FAA regulations as far as separate restrooms, a changing area, vending area where you can get actually something more than a can of pop and a candy bar. We're complying with TSA requirements. There will be an 80-foot line for passenger check-in. We're going to have a luggage carousel, which is amazing for Devil's Lake. You won't have to open the door and feel all the wind coming from outside into the unsecure area. It will be gated at both ends. And I mean, it's a huge step up. Not only that, but our terminal will be connected to the ARF building. There will be a small enclosed breezeway between the two, which makes sense in North Dakota. Are there any questions on that?
Other than that, our plans are also to do our taxiway apron project this summer. The apron, I'll call it the general aviation apron out in front of, numerous tenants, has deteriorated to the point where, a seal coat won't fix it, whatever. And it also has drainage problems with, they build airports in the bottom of sloughs and we have a water problem in that area. And that's part of the reason why the pavement is deteriorated so bad. But we have that slated for this summer. And hopefully, again, that started out as a reasonably priced project, which doubled in price by the time the bids came out and this type of thing. But we did award the taxiway part of that project for now until we see what's going on for sure. Other than that, like I said, we have 3 new ARF operations employees out there. All of my experience left, and so we're training and working with 3 new guys to get them up to speed and operate machinery, know the ARF operations end of things and the maintenance part. So we keep marching forward. Everybody's getting a little more familiar every day with it, but that's probably the biggest booms we got going on right now.
I think one thing we'd be remiss in not talking about is the National Guard. They're a big part of our airport. Major Brett Nelson sits on our board ex officio. And at the last meeting, he said that their school attendance will probably be about the same as last year, which is 2,000. And he said also the officer training, there would probably be about 800. And he likes when they fly into Devil's Lake because it's a lot cheaper to come pick up the guardsmen at our airport with a van rather than drive a bus down to the Grand Forks Airport. So he's always pushing to get more people to fly into Devil's Lake. So the National Guard are on our side also, and they're really big on SkyWest also. I think that only helps us going forward.
And a flight coming from Minneapolis will really help them
Exactly. That's
immensely.
That was our thoughts.
That's our thoughts too.
Having a second hub and going east would be a huge.
We want
plus
to keep
for us.
having a jet, not a turboprop. That's going backwards,
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So it's important that we get the support for that.
And I think right now, Scott said he's got 3 new employees. One of them is ARF certified besides Scott. The other two will be getting their ARF certification in April. There just hasn't been any schools in the last few months.
They'll do a lot of it in the summertime, so.
Yeah. So
Been hard to get it.
hopefully by the end of April, all four of them will be ARF certified, which is huge for our airport going forward. Right now, all the flights have to be manned by Scott and Joe Kraft, the other ARF certified employee. So that's a time demand on Scott's time too also.
It almost demanded I not show up for the meeting tonight.
Yeah,
I called Joe and he came in, so.
he called me and he told me I might be doing this by myself because he had to worry about the flight coming. Are there any other questions you guys have for us at this point?
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Yes. I know it's a lot, especially for someone that's just getting new into the management part of it. I'm sure it's.
We basically threw him under the bus huge. Scott's got 15 years of experience and a lot of that has been dealing with the FAA, which has been huge for us. Couple side notes, we got our ACMs revised totally last year, hadn't been done totally since 2004. Scott basically handled all that. All our AEPs, which is Airport Emergency Plan, our ASPs, our Airport Safety Plan, our Wildlife Hazard Management Plan, he's updated all those. We're all up to code. We were having some issues with the FAA. They talked to us at one point that if we didn't get our act together, they were going to pull our charter, which would have been the death knell for Devils Lakes Airport. A lot of pressure on Scott. He handled it all, besides doing his regular job at the airport, besides doing all the maintenance and everything that he had to do with new employees. So he deserves a big pat on the back for what he's gone through in the last year. Yeah. So, I mean, you probably don't understand the pressures out there because the FAA sends out a tickler and it's like a letter of correction. If you have this many days to take care of this, and if you don't, then you're on their bad list.
Then you go LOI.
Yeah, letter of investigation, and then that's the next step from that is shutting our airport down. Well, we went through a series of those last year. I think at one point the list was probably 20, 23 long. We've got it down to one recurring issue that we're still working on. They've given us extensions. So we've accomplished a lot in the last couple of years. It's been huge for us. And this to me is just another step forward in the right direction, growing our airport, helping to grow the city of Devils Lake. So.
Not a question.
Appreciate it.
Anything else for him?
Yes, thank you for everything both of you have done.
Thank you, guys.
I'm just along for the ride.
Great summary. Appreciate that. I think it was
Thank you.
very important and very informative. Thank you.
Thanks, Ace.
If you ever got any questions, don't hesitate.
Don't hesitate to call Scott or I. Yes, exactly. Scott first, please.
Okay. Moving on, mission portfolios. We'll start with Commissioner Hamry.
Nothing for utilities tonight.
Quick on mine, dear, nothing.
Okay. Right.
Anything from sanitation?
Nothing from sanitation, unless you have questions for me, Commissioner.
Nothing.
Keep up.
Rob?
Only thing I have is that the domestic fowl committee is meeting on Thursday at noon. So next meeting we might have, well, I'll update. I don't think we'll have anything ready for the board or the commission yet. That's all I've got.
Wait, is it this Thursday or next Thursday?
This Thursday.
Okay, I
Do you want
think
me-
it's next Thursday for second.
This Thursday.
If you want to just run down, want to thank the community members. V. Jeffrey kind of brought the conversation up to the commission, and then two other community members, Mike Schock, Brand Langton. I want to thank them for taking the time to serve on that committee, as well as city staff members, our nuisance officer over there, Chief Bennett, Chief Kanowski, city attorney here, and then Commissioner Pierce as well. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time. And out of that conversation, they should know if they want to meet another 1, 2, or 3 times.
Oh, no need to thank me. I was voluntold that I was on the committee.
Yep.
That works that way sometimes.
I like it though.
And I want to thank Rob for coordinating. So.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Mr. Robbins.
Streets, Mike?
Just an update on streets. They came in last night, did some priority routes, went through the streets today. They'll be working on downtown tonight, and then we'll get through the avenues tomorrow.
I had 2 text messages with thumbs up today on street work, so that's a good thing. More thumbs up than thumbs down, so good job.
Yeah, no, they've been, it's been a long winter for them, but pretty soon it's March, and once you're into March, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's all we have for streets, unless you have other questions.
Nope, engineering.
Engineering, just so the commission isn't scared off, the bids that were open tonight, the low bid was right in line with the engineer's estimate. Like I've always told the commission, we're usually one bid away from being right on the engineer's estimate. Last year, we only received one bid. And that bid was a couple $100,000 higher, right? It's about in the middle of the pack right now.
Is this a
And so
local
by going-
contractor that had the low bid? I've never heard of him before.
I'm sorry,
This Barkley or is it a local guy?
it's not local, no.
Oh,
I haven't worked with them before, but I understand that they're in multiple cities. So and they are listed with the Department of Transportation.
oh, okay.
So they're approved contractor there. So we'll do a little research there. We'll work through the numbers, make sure all the math is accurate, and then provide a recommendation at the next meeting. Devin and the office really has been working hard to try and get the plans together for the water main replacement that we hope to bid this year, and that's later on the agenda. That's all I have for engineering. Commissioner, unless you have questions.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Commissioner Pierce.
Chief, we just had the youth fishing derby during the Shiverfest. That was actually a really big success. Lots of kids came out. Thank you, Mayor Mo, for coming out and running the mic. We got State Fire School coming up this weekend. We have 5 volunteers going down, and then 2 of us are going to instruct. So we just had 5 of our paid guys pass their Instructor 1 certification test. So that's big. And then we're starting the review process and the process of writing new SOPs and SOGs for the department. So
Can you forward me their names?
Yep.
Those 5. Thank you. We had the Fair Board meeting February 8th. Just a few updates from that, just for public knowledge. The horse show's on June 24th, and then they have a livestock show on June 29th. They are doing on April 12th, the Extension Office is holding a Field to Fork Day at the Memorial Building that's aimed towards 4th graders to give them educational booths about dairy, small grain, and corn. And on April 13th, they're also having a Safety Day at the Memorial Building aimed towards 5th graders to educate them about vaping, electronic safety, ATV safety, cell phone safety, and more. So that's going on this year from the Fair Board. Tomorrow morning, Mayor, is the Ramsey County let me think of how that was. Just went completely blank in my head. Planning Commission meeting. That's tomorrow at 8:00, and I'll be going to that.
Okay.
And I'll have and then again, like I said, we got the domestic fowl on Thursday. But the next meeting for the Fair Board is next month sometime. Couldn't think of the top of my head.
Okay.
Other than that, Mayor, if there are any questions.
Okay. Well, thank you, Commissioner. Okay. Chief, or Assistant Chief.
All calm, all quiet. We did have the SWAT team assisted the BCI in Eddy County with trying to locate that suspect.
Do you think he's in an area or?
They thought he was in a structure, but turned out he was not in there. So
Well,
that
good
was
luck.
last night.
Hope you find him. Otherwise, good to go.
Otherwise,
Chief's
good
gone,
luck.
so everything is quiet, I'm sure.
This is true.
It usually works that way.
It does. Yes, all's calm.
Okay.
For now.
All right, thank you. Spencer.
Mayor, members of the commission here, just a handful of items. I'll try to be quick. Just for you guys' knowledge, our computer network was down for a significant time last week, starting at Wednesday at about noon. And we couldn't access any of the drive that we use to have all of our files. And stuff. So we could create things, but we couldn't access anything of the past, which really kind of handcuffed us a lot with trying to prepare things for the commission meeting and getting work done. So That was down from, like I said, Wednesday at noon to all the way till Monday at about 1 o'clock. So 5 days in 1 hour. Pointing fingers doesn't really help anything. I would just say that it wasn't a City of Devils Lake error, right? And we tried our best to work with the contractor, Corporate Technology, the best we could. They tried to auto restore everything, and they tried it twice. It didn't work, so they didn't manually do it, which took quite a long time. So want to thank everybody that came in over the weekend on Monday to try and help get things done as they couldn't do it when they normally had scheduled time. Because of that, you'll see on your desk, I provided you with the 2022 end of year and 2023 or January 2023, just for the fund balance report. That is my understanding is usually accompanied on top of the financials. I'll email you the line by line stuff. There's just a few things that we need to work with our software company on just to fix a couple things. So I'll include those asterisks there for you, but the 2023 information should be rock solid. Just the end of 2022, we just might need to make just a couple tweaks, but feel pretty confident in that. And then to let you guys know, we received one of our $1 million in prairie dog funds. Just think how the buckets go with the oil extraction tax out west. They funnel money to the cities over here on the eastern half. And first bucket is 2.5 million to cities over, I think, 5,000. So that's a really big deal for City of Devils Lake, because that first tranche from that first bucket fills, we receive just as much as Fargo does. And so that really helps benefit us. And then the other bucket filled, and we're getting a $1 million out of that. There's some talk about at the legislature with the League of Cities as to where the buckets are located, and maybe moving, advocating to move one of those infrastructure buckets forward. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, not the end of the world. We still feel like we're sitting in a good spot. So like I said, just want to let you know we received that. Been working closely with the Park District on the financing of their project, and they'll be here at a future date. And I think I just want, one of the things I want to do is just to tee you guys up to understand that the city, because the sales tax dollars come to the city, and the Park District in the eyes of North Dakota Century Code is basically an extension of the city. If they're going to use those dollars to help finance a project, they're going to have to use the city as a conduit, whether it's if it is issuing sales tax revenue bonds or not. It's going to have to take the city commission to make the action, given that that's how things in North Dakota Century. So we're working with the city attorney and the folks at the Park District as to how we can best do this in the eyes of the taxpayer collaboratively. And like I said, if anything, it would be just using the funds that come to the city and we give the Park District. We might just have to take them and then use them as they're designed. So be a future conversation in weeks ahead. So just wanted to get that at front of mind for you guys. I spoke with Sean Rood, Lake Region Ambulance Service. He informed me that the Lake Region Joint Training Center was denied the Otto Bremer grant for the Lake Region Joint Training Center. And so he has a number of proposals from banks as far as the financing, and I'll work in tandem with them as to see what the best options are, and if there is a plan that we can work up long-term between the city, the county, and maybe a few other entities around the region to try and finance that project. So more to come on that. And maybe lastly, I think last time I had mentioned the Board of Equalization is coming up, and I maybe preemptively thought we could do before a city commission meeting. We just need to know if the city commission does want to have a distinct and separate special meeting. Mr. Johnson over there has to send out notices, so we need to set the date. So basically what I would ask is, right now, tentatively, we have April 3rd. It's a city commission day, so you do the Board of Equalization, open and close it, then you go to city commission. If you guys do want to have a distinct special meeting on a different day, let me know, and then I can reach out to coordinate that.
I think a special meeting, wouldn't that? That's what you always have had in the past.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the wise way to do it.
Okay, so I'll reach out and I'll email you guys to try to coordinate it.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Like I said, just want to thank city staff. We're nearing the end of winter. Had some network issues, and people went above and beyond to get work done that was needed. So thank you, Mayor.
With that, Sean Rood, have you mentioned NODAC to him at all?
I have not mentioned that to him, but I will make sure to do that.
So they pumped about $5 million into our community.
Okay, thank you. Jack, anything?
No, not really. Worked on a couple things with Mike, stayed on a phone call with the Park District regarding funding of their new center. They have specific attorney they're working with to help with some more particular financing options there. And then, other than that, we have, I'll probably kill two birds with one stone. We have the second reading of the alcohol special permit. Only change there is I found one typographical, so in paragraph G, the word says who that, the word who is stricken out in there. And other than that, we'll have some more ordinances coming down the pike to be updated. A lot of them will be criminal related to help out prosecuting the good work that our police officers do.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. I just got a couple things. First of all, thanks Spencer, Bree, for your hard work and having to come in on a holiday to make this all happen. I know that Spencer was scheduled to go with me on Friday when we went to Bismarck for Legislative and League of Cities Day. And because of the situation, he stayed back to make sure he was able to get this accomplished because he has been promising it and it has been one thing after another that kind of steps up and gets in his way. So thanks for your hard work and staying back. I do want to talk about, I had the opportunity to visit with some legislators and some senators on Friday. We had some things in there that are concerning to us. The prairie dog bill was one of them. The PERS retirement program was another one, and a couple other bills. And so it was great to get down there. I had the opportunity to sit with Representative Johnson at the head table. So that was an experience that I guess I'll never forget. It was pretty interesting. Speaker's chair. So that was awesome. So, but there's a lot going on down there. If you were really bored and want to watch it, channel 160 and 161, Senate and House, starts usually at 1 o'clock. And my wife hates it when I turn the TV onto that when I'm retired now, so I get to watch all that. But anyway, so it was, it's interesting, and there's a lot of things going on down there, but we're staying in touch with things that may affect our city, and made some good contacts with some of the people down there also. So. And then last, I had a call from Chairman Jeff Frith from the county. He would like us to look at our calendars as soon as possible to sit down as a full board versus full board and our attorneys to discuss the law enforcement center. So I guess if we could come up with a date as soon as possible to kind of talk about the future of the law enforcement center.
The joint powers or just
That agreement in general, yeah.
Okay.
And what direction we want to see it go.
No, I mean, the reason for that,
And
just to fill in, the reason for that meeting is there's in terms of how the joint powers agreement.
yeah, they
is
want
drafted
to
or
draft
redrafted.
an agreement with city and
Yeah, we
county.
need to figure out this kind of, it's kind of figuring out how to split costs pretty much between all the counties.
How to separate ourselves from it and who's, things of that nature. No more, when we get to sit down, but so if we could come up with a date on that as soon as possible, that works. Daytime or nighttime, it doesn't matter with them either.
I'll coordinate throughout the week with probably Candy over there at the county. to try
Okay.
to Coordinate between the two commissions to find a
That'd be
good date
great.
and meeting
Appreciate
place.
that. Okay, that is make it simple.
Just so you know, I'll be gone the 27th to the 6th.
Oh, yes, look at them. Just kidding.
And then you said of February into March?
28th of February.
Yeah, I'll be gone also the 27th through March 4th. For work, I'll be in Mississippi.
Okay,
I'll send out a Google poll.
okay. It's gonna be tough, but I guess
Figure it
we'll
out
figure, we got
somehow.
5 here, 5 there, plus,
I did it for a living in my past life, so.
okay.
I'll try it.
We'll count on you to get her done.
We got 6 days till you guys leave.
Yeah. Okay, anything else, anybody? Anything? Okay, if not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. There's nothing, or no, excuse me, old business. Nothing under old business. Consent agenda. There's nothing. We'll now go into new business, and the first item is the mailing machine renewal and folder inserter new lease Quadient.
Just kind of an administrative matter here. Our mailing machine has reached its end of life, so the provider came. We have a lease for a new one, and then as well as want to add on a folder insert, which will make a lot of our processes much more efficient there in the back. So just approve. I would just recommend approval of the lease agreement with Quadient.
We got a recommendation to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve
Motion
the
by Commissioner
recommendation.
I'll second.
Robbins, Commissioner second by Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Second reading, a special event alcohol permit ordinance.
Like I said, just with second reading, between the first and second reading, just that one grammatical error that the city attorney referenced earlier in commission portfolios. So
Anybody have?
You said that was in G?
I
Right-
ju-
right
just
after county?
updated it 15 minutes before the meeting.
City or-
Uploaded it, so that
I was
revised.
just gonna say that who was still in there, so.
Yeah. If we
Yeah.
get the circle refreshed, maybe it would. Probably not. Not hold my breath.
Okay. Any wishes of the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatch, second by Commissioner Hammery. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item, airborne vector control, authorization of application. Is that going to Mike or Spencer?
I would just say this is a yearly authorization of the application for air vector control, just so that we can work with them to schedule our annual springs.
Okay.
They're adding the caterpillars and
It's,
canker worms on it.
it's an option. We haven't, you've done that in the past from my understanding with talking with Mike, so both would be authorized, but we schedule closer to the date. This just opens up our ability to communicate and negotiate.
What's the difference this year versus last year in price then?
It's a few $100s more. I think last year it was like $8,800 and now it's just over 9,000. But again, this approval doesn't commit us to doing anything at this point. It just makes sure that they can get the authorization and the approvals so that they can do it if we elect to have them do the spraying.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hatch,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pierce. Any discussion? All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item, we're gonna approve plans and specs and authorize to call for bids for Water Main Improvement District 28-23, 3rd Street Southeast, 4th Street Southeast, 5th Street Southeast, 6th Avenue Southeast, and 7th Avenue Southeast, and 29-23, 2nd Street Northeast between 6th Avenue and 12th Avenue. Mike, you want to enlighten us anymore? or-
There's two resolutions. As the commission's aware, we're bidding it as one project, but we broke it into two different districts to try and secure the cost allocations to keep cost over here separate from the cost over here. And just in case, it's a water main improvement district, so really it can't be protested out. But we've been breaking things into different districts just in case there's one certain area that for whatever reason would want to protest or something. But we haven't had any issues there. So recommend approval of the resolutions.
Recommendation?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hamry, second by Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Last item on that, pay estimate number 5, City Project 220201, Water Main Replacement District.
The current pay estimate includes some work that they had completed for the sewer main videos over on the west side as part of that project. Total due this estimate, $46,665.60. Recommend approval of the estimate.
Have a recommendation to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve pay estimate 5.
Motion by Commissioner Robbins.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Pierce. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ash?
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins?
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce?
Aye.
Commissioner Hammer?
Aye.
President Moore?
Aye. Motion carries. Any citizen comments? No, nobody picked up anything? Okay, informational items.
Like I said, Mayor, I provided you the cover sheets and I will, once it's all locked down, I will make sure to attach it to a future agenda and post to the website. And like I said, I'll send you the line by lines with just a few asterisks and some commentary as well on them here, either this evening or tomorrow morning.
Okay. And last item, motion to approve the payment of enlisted bills.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Hammery,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Hash?
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins?
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce?
Aye.
Commissioner Hammer?
Aye.
President Moore?
Aye. Motion carries. That concludes the business tonight. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, and have a good rest of the weekend.
Stay warm.
Meeting adjourned.
Hey, blow it up.